When I went to see the Chainsaw Man movie, I was deeply depressed. Autumn is not a good time for me most days. And still, I dragged myself out into the theater to watch it, and by the time I got out, I did so with a smile on my face. It wasn't just good, it literally restored my will to live. Is there any higher purpose to art? Yes, but we're not going to talk about it today. Today we're going to talk about why the Chainsaw Man movie was so amazing, even though it's so stupid. I'm not going to shit on this movie, I just told you how much I love it. I want us to understand why it doesn't matter that this movie is stupid. The story is extremely simple. Reze, a Russian assassin, pretends to fall in love with Denji only to actually fall in love with Denji. Why does Reze fall in love with Denji? Because even after she bites his tongue off and bombs him to near death, that is, after letting him see who she really is, Denji still wants to be with her, something that she never imagined anyone was capable of. People don't love you for who you are, they love you for how you make them feel, and Denji makes her feel like she's worthy of love, even when she's not pretending to be bubbly and cute. Why is Denji into her? Because she's cute and she's hot and she likes him. This part isn't stupid, the plot is simple, effective, and touching. Despite all of the fantastical elements, it is heartbreakingly realistic. The world is full of pretenders like Reze who are sure that no one will love them if they stop pretending, and everyday fools like Denji decide to keep loving them even after finding out who they really are, thus winning their heart. It happened to me, and it can happen to you too. What is stupid is that the plot doesn't make any goddamn sense. Reze puts so much effort into seducing Denji, getting into the phone booth with him when it rains, spending time with him at the cafe, getting naked with him at the pool, and then kissing him right as the fireworks start, in a scene that transcends cliché but just being so goddamn beautiful. And all of that just to bite off his tongue and blow him up seconds after kissing him. But why? Why not just blow him up in the phone booth? Reze herself comments that she doesn't know why she didn't, and it makes sense to me that she recognized in Denji that potential to love her. I just can't believe that a trained assassin would act on that potential. The real reason she didn't blow up the phone booth is that Fujimoto wanted to give them time to fall in love. In the end, she blows him up and the fighting begins. The fighting makes sense technically. There aren't any plot holes or scaling issues, but it's confusing in a screenwriting sense. When writing a good fighting scene, the viewer should know why the protagonist is winning, or even whether the protagonist is winning. Bruce Lee wins because he's fast while his opponents are slow. Jackie Chan wins because he's creative while his opponents are rigid. Denji, I have no idea what even went on in this fight. I just know that my neurons were activated. But that's not true. The thing that makes this fighting scene so good is the love that's put into every second of animation, the attention that's put into every single frame, the dynamic grandiosity of it. Every time Reze decides to blow somebody up, you feel concussed. Every time Denji jumps off a building, you feel vertigo. And that's the thing with this movie. My favorite part is the first third, before we even find out that Reze is a devil. And it's not because there's any amazing plot going on in there, it's just these beautiful shots. The color, the light, the framing, every single frame could be hung at a museum and I would watch it for minutes. And it was this amazing artistry that made it so that when Denji realized Reze liked him, I felt what he was feeling. I felt like I was 15 again, realizing that the girl whose hand I wanted to hold my hand too. This is the power of cinema that's made with love. In fact, Fujimoto himself tells us that from the start. The movie starts with Denji going out on a date with Makima. She makes him watch movie after movie, and even though both of them are bored, she insists that they keep watching because every once in a while you come across a movie that changes your life. And the next movie that they watch is exactly that kind of movie. Fujimoto wants to make the statement that plot doesn't matter, kind of, and so he makes you watch a scene from a movie without context. You, the viewer, watch the scene alongside Makima and Denji, but you haven't seen the rest of the movie, and so you have to appreciate the visual aspect of this scene isolated from the plot. You just watch as a young man is being hugged by this older woman, then slowly hugging her back. You don't know why or what happened before, you just feel whatever the scene makes you feel. Denji cries, Makima cries, and I had a tear in my eye too. Denji asks exactly what I was asking. This is a completely normal scene. Why am I crying? Because camera work, framing, color, and motion are the soul of cinema. I'm a literary critic. I work with words, but cinema isn't just words. It's a visceral medium that gets into your mind without a filter. It is alive in a way that words rarely are. And this is what I love about the Reze arc, that it is in itself a love letter to cinema. In fact, I feel like every work by Fujimoto is a love letter to cinema. Most of all, the one that I think is his best work, the manga Goodbye Eri. If you love this sort of meta commentary about cinema, I cannot recommend it enough. And that's all I have to say about that. Until next time, find beauty wherever you can, you hear?